The following program is a production of HEW Entertainment and contains views, opinions, commentaries, and content that may offend some subscribers of this show. Listener discretion is advised.
It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
You beat the man! You gotta beat the man! Whoa!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729288. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729288. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the World Heavyweight Champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us hewwrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here!
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. HEW Entertainment Radio is inviting you to comment on our video blogs, join the conversation, and like us. So what are you waiting for? Log on and listen now. Don't miss out on any of the action. Download our app on the App Store, Google Play, and the official website of HEW Entertainment. Once you download and install it, you'll get caught up on news, YouTube videos, and more. Download it now.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
On this very stormy pancake day in 2016, once again I have to thank you for subscribing to my Facebook page, many of you locally, many of you from different parts of the world. If you have not subscribed to my Facebook page recently, you can do so at HEW Entertainment by jumping on there and getting in the conversation. You can also follow me on Twitter if you have it at Jonathan Clarke 1. I, of course, am your host, Jonathan Clarke, who is not a fan of Triple H versus Roman Reigns this year at WrestleMania 32. If you haven't already figured that out, just read my column in this corner with Jonathan Clarke. Check out my Google video blog at HEW Entertainment, Cheap Shots with HEW Entertainment and Jonathan Clarke, to get a better exemplification of just how I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns and Triple H. Or you can also check out some of my video blogs on my YouTube channel if you subscribe at Jonathan Clarke 22. Not a really big fan of this, and it has nothing really to do with my hatred of Roman Reigns, but I would really rather see Triple H defending the title against Dean Ambrose, and if not that, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns in a triple threat match. I had a really interesting conversation a couple of days ago over the weekend with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the possibilities for a main event for WrestleMania 32, and one of the suggestions that he came up with was a triple threat match, one thing that I've kind of been overshadowing by different things happening in WWE. I even brought up the idea of having Dean Ambrose facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania outside of the triple threat match. And maybe it has something to do with having seen way too many triple threat matches over the years. We've seen everything from Daniel Bryan, Dave Batista, Randy Orton, and then we can go back even further with John Cena, Triple H, and Randy Orton, with Randy Orton, of course, as the defending champion in both of those triple threat matches. Again, we've seen matches with Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, and Rey Mysterio, with Mysterio winning the match as champion. Of course, we saw Kurt Angle go into the match as the defending champion. So, again, we've seen way too many triple threat matches going back as far as 2006 with a difference of 10 years. And not much has changed in 10 years. A lot has changed with the complexity of the roster and the diversity that we are seeing in the roster, but not much has changed in the way of how they're always throwing up triple threat matches with the main events of WrestleMania. And they could go that way this year, the more that I think about it, with how many injuries we've seen. I mean, John Cena, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Sting, Sin Cara, they are all out with injuries. Nikki Bella is another one who can be considered as one of the top wrestlers on the DL when you're talking about the Divas division. So we could be seeing a triple threat match this year at WrestleMania. Or do you want to see it? Because of the main events that we are looking at from a one-on-one perspective. It's either going to be Triple H and Dean Ambrose, obviously. With how much Dean Ambrose is over, it wouldn't surprise me none. Either that or Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Now, preferably, if we had to look at a one-on-one main event, it would definitely be Triple H versus Dean Ambrose for me, because I've always been a really big Dean Ambrose fan. He really puts me in mind of the Brian Pillman kind of character. That craziness that Dean Ambrose has can really go a long way, and it makes WWE storylines that much more unpredictable, as if Roman Reigns were your challenger and he emerged victorious coming out of the main event of this year's WrestleMania as champion. It's too obvious seeing Roman Reigns, being that recovering hero from everything that happened, that returning hero from everything that's happened with him at the expense of the McMahons ever since the end of last year, and the controversy surrounding how he became WWE champion, attacking Triple H, punching Vince McMahon in the face. So it's pretty obvious that he's going to be the recovering/returning hero. So throwing Dean Ambrose into the storyline could take us a lot of different ways. Dean Ambrose could become champion, and if not that, in the fall of the match with Triple H, he's the one who sells us out to Triple H and becomes the heel, and everything happening with Roman Reigns. And then we're looking at a scenario where Dean Ambrose is the heel character over Roman Reigns, who is still your fan favorite, desperately trying to put Roman Reigns over. But either way you go with Dean Ambrose, fan favorite or heel, in the way of heel heat, I think it would be awesome, because it will really let us see what Dean Ambrose can do either way with his character, which he's really never been given an opportunity to really show us what his potential really is. I know that he knows he has a lot of potential in the wrestling business. Obviously, he's not going to be over as much as what a Daniel Bryan was as the voice of the Yes Movement, and how much he was over in matches with the likes of Triple H, Randy Orton, and Dave Batista, going back-to-back at WrestleMania and winning all those matches he was in, defeating 3 members of Evolution. We're not going to see Dean Ambrose do that. We're going to be lucky to see Dean Ambrose pin Brock Lesnar if we go that far. But, I mean, can you imagine Dean Ambrose as champion and how much that would elevate his status in WWE? We've already seen Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns as champion. We know what they can do. We know Seth Rollins
was an amazing champion. He's out until at least August. But how about this? Dean Ambrose is champion. He feuds with the likes of Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and Roman Reigns as either fan favorite or heel up until the point Seth Rollins returns. And then we see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose rekindling an old rivalry, which first happened when the severance of the Shield first was derived in WWE when Seth Rollins stabbed the Shield members Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the back, with how Dean Ambrose considered Seth Rollins his brother, the Brotherhood of the Shield, from 2012 up until at least 2014 when everything happened for the Shield the way it did. And of course Roman Reigns, which many people weren't a fan of pushing in WWE, which I can understand because Roman Reigns is still not over, in my opinion, and has done nothing far of impressive in WWE, and I really wish he would be more impressive to wrestling fans and he was standing out more, because having to punch Vince McMahon in the face and resorting to the ways of an old Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is really what this puts me in mind of, an old Austin versus McMahon kind of storyline, which is ridiculous, trying to turn Roman Reigns into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just, in my opinion, an act of desperation to make him stand out more, because he's not standing out this close to WrestleMania. We are just under 60 days away from WrestleMania, and they have nothing in the way of to offer us as wrestling fans for this year's WrestleMania in comparison to WrestleManias of the past. Even WrestleMania 21 seemed to offer us more, with matches like John Cena and JBL or Dave Bautista and Triple H for the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. Even WrestleMania 30 offered us more with Daniel Bryan, and that was really a lackluster WrestleMania, because the only thing you had to fall back on that year was The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, and we all know how that went, leaving us all really depressed over how The Undertaker streak had to come to an end. We knew it was going to have to come to an end, but at the expense of someone like Brock Lesnar. I would have rather seen Roman Reigns face The Undertaker and end The Undertaker streak, which could happen this year at WrestleMania, but it would not be for the streak. It would be to end The Undertaker's career and retire him. That would be awesome, because that would take Roman Reigns out of the main event and leave it up to Triple H and Dean Ambrose to tear it up at WrestleMania in the main event for the championship. And apart from that, you can have The Undertaker facing Roman Reigns off of Reigns losing the championship, obviously being very frustrated if you're not going to go the way of having The Undertaker versus Sting, because of everything that's happened for Sting with his Hall of Fame induction, which I thought could lead up to the Undertaker versus Sting match. Definitely giving The Undertaker a reason to be pissed off, because Sting is going in the Hall of Fame before him after The Undertaker